Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Trees, Trash and Tinkering. So here's a tinkering episode, and today we are doing a bit of metalwork. The first shot was my scrap metal collection, and now I am cutting out some pieces of steel to use as handles. This is an old brace that used to hold the CD stacker out of the back of a car, so it's good to be able to use it for other things and not carry it around just burning petrol to carry it for no reason. Today we're gonna do 3 projects. We're going to create a handle for a cheese slicer, which you can see in the foreground, a small socket screwdriver thing, which is the other thing in the foreground now bouncing around. I know I could make a handle out of other things, but both of these had kind of cheap, badly constructed handles, so just gonna go overkill on these two. And while I've got the metal working tools out, and also metalworking's fun, so I'm just hammering these into shape and then I plan to weld them. There will be welding in this video, which has a somewhat strobing effect. If anyone is sensitive to this and still wants to watch it, I will have timestamps of when to skip, and when's clear to be watching, when to skip past. Alright, now I'm setting up the welder, and I'm using just some general electrode sticks. They are 4855 electrodes, which from what I can gather is pretty general. Pretty good to learn with. I'm still learning to weld and such, and so the first one, the cheese slicer, was really thin, so I just had to give it just a little bit, as opposed to the 1/4-inch socket screwdriver thing that I'm putting the handle on. It's a lot thicker, and I could put a lot more heat into it and such, and also it's just a tool for outside, so it doesn't need to be neat at all. Now I'm chucking some putty over the top of a little bit messy weld to make it easy to clean and such. Stop food and water from getting inside it. And we had our doubts at how it turned out, but it's gone through the dishwasher a couple of times, and it looks like it's going to be a staple in our kitchen. The long handle makes it better than it's ever been. It's such a great tool. You don't have to get a whole cheese grater dirty to get slices of cheese, and it's easier to slice really thin than even with a regular knife. I might do some cooking videos on this channel too. Now it's time to start on the third and last project of the day, which is repairing this trolley, which we have affectionately named Bowser. We being me, my partner, whoever else is in the garden with me or doing an errand with me, and I can convince them to use the silly nickname. So it's a really great trolley. As you can see, it's got such a simple design, but it's but you can fully like tow it at high speed at like 30 k's behind a bike, no worries. It's just really rattly. Like Lily the kitten hates the frickin' rattles. So it's just got a couple of bolts to get this part off to go and repair it, and like the metal tube at the bottom has become mangled over time, and I'm just gonna repair it and upgrade it. So to get Bowser to be more stable, like it's still even usable with the metal tube mangled, it's just a lot less stable. I think I actually named Bowser that name subconsciously because Deli and James, two other YouTubers, named their dog that, and I think it's a great name. And I found a piece of metal that fits like a glove. Only thing is it's a bit thin, so but we can botch it together. Alright, we're just removing the old mangled metal brace. Ready for the new one. Next, I'm just removing the paint from the small tube. A few less fumes, hopefully make the world a little bit better. And then with this tack, I actually stuffed it up, I lifted it up, and then did a nice tack and was like, how come it's not attached? So I fixed that up, and you're seeing the second attempt at tacking it, which was successful. And I'll show the camera in a minute. Like, I'm definitely a real amateur welder, and this piece of metal is way too thin. Yeah, one day I might have all the correct rods, and maybe one day I'd even have a MIG or a TIG welder and gas bottle and everything. But I'm just starting out, so just the arc welder that I'm borrowing off a friend for now, and struggling and just doing low pressure jobs like an old garden trolley. Now we're coming up to one of my favourite time lapses, where like I imagined that it would be pretty cool to see the big glob of arc welding metal forming. It's melting through the tiny tube, so it's kind of creating its own shape, and I'm just trying to keep the big glob about the same size as it was. The tiny tube's more of a guide. And this is what I ended up with. I only burnt through and put a glob on the inside, a little bit on one side, and the other side did need a fair bit of filing down, and I try use a saw, it's called a jigsaw drill bit. I love it, but I was being pretty brutal with it and blunting it when the proper tool is that round file I'm using now. But yeah, the jigsaw bit on the drill gets all sorts of uses. Just tidying it up a bit, and chipping it off, and this is what it ended up with. And I've used the trolley now. It's a couple of days after filming this, and it's worked. It's just a bit stiffer, and I'm sure that the steering will loosen up after a time. I'm chucking on a bit of rust guard, as the big glob of metal is very prone to rust. I took a while longer editing this video. I I think I should have taken a shorter video for these tasks, and I think the planting video has been my best one so far. So yeah, I'm still just learning. But thanks for watching, everyone, and catch you on the next episode of Trees, Trash and Tinkering!